problem is we are now, self-published authors are doing far better than published authors in many ways. Not, I mean, obviously, if you're already a celebrity, you know, an established traditional publisher is going to be able to put it out for you and get it spread out much better than you could on your own, obviously. But if you're little guys or middle guys like me, unfortunately, the publishing industry is only looking for the celebrities. They're only looking for the big thing, just like Hollywood. They only want to make blockbusters now because it's not worth it to put anything into the little guys, no matter how good they are. And by the way, it's been that way for a while. And so, you know, if you're trying to get published, you know, you contact them and they'll go, the first thing they'll say is, you know, how much marketing are you going to do for your book? What's your audience? What, you know, do you have a email list? Do you have, you know, do you have podcasts and all this? So like you already have to do all the work, even if they're going to take your book on. So it's like, well, why have them, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What do they do?
Yeah, exactly. Now, there is some benefit to that, but there's another element to that, which is they've also all gone woke. And so that makes it very difficult if you're a white, middle-aged Christian, conservative Christian, it's going to be almost impossible to get. Now, even I went to Christian publishers and Christian agents and I couldn't get it. Now, this was, like I said, 14 years ago. It wasn't as bad, the woke thing. And I wasn't interested. I didn't bother me anyway. I'm just like, well, I'll see what happens anyway. Now it's almost impossible, you know, but anyway, back then. So, you know, but the problem is my novels had sex and violence in them. And look, my premise on my novels, I'm writing Bible stories, and we'll get into this obviously, but I try to, you know, replicate the way the Bible talks about sin. And sometimes the Bible is very explicit and it's very extensive. There's a lot of evil and sin in the Bible. And the reason why is because if you don't accurately portray that from which we need to be redeemed, if you don't accurately portray evil, then your story of redemption does not offer any punch or any real legitimacy. It only has as much legitimacy as the accuracy of the evil that you're being redeemed from. And if you don't depict that accurately, well, then what's the need for it? You know, that kind of a thing. Right. And so, you know, I came at it from that angle and I'm like, you know what? You know, that's fine. And plus I was a first-time author, and my first edition of Noah Primeval probably wasn't that good. I come from a screenwriting background. So I wrote it like a movie, because I write all my books like movies because I love movies and I want to read like a movie. I don't want all these long, in-depth things, you know? Yeah. You know, whatever, ramblings about internal things, you know? I want moral choices and, you know, consequences and stuff like that.